Jai Shri Krishna Guru, thank you for joining Shri Guru Charitra Parayan. I hope you all had a wonderful day today. So let us continue from where we stopped. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Om Shri Sarasvataya Namaha, Om Shri Guru Dattatreya Namaha, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha, Shri Guru Charitra Parayan. So today we'll begin with a new chapter, that is chapter 7, Gokarna Sthala Mahatmaya. Before I start this chapter, I want to cover a small story about yesterday's satsang. In that, we learned the story about how Ravana wanted to take the Mount Kailash, and he wanted Shivji for the worship of his mother. And then you've learned Shivji offered him the Rudra Veena. Sorry, not the Rudra Veena. I mean, Ravana performed the Rudra Veena with severe penance, and he attained the blessing and grace of Lord Shivji. And Shivji gave him his Atmalinga. Now, I didn't discuss what is it's not Rudra, it's Raudra. What does Raudra Veena mean? And that too, it said that he took the nerves and he made the string and he played the veena. Doesn't it sound very weird? What exactly does this mean? In the Adhyatmic, that is in the spiritual world, what it means is Ravana did such a severe penance to attain the grace of Lord Shiva. So what did he do actually? Where does Shivji, how do you attain Shivji? We say Sahasrahar, and that is where you have your realization. You become one with the divine, you get the self-realization. So he did meditation. How does it work? Like my Krishna Guruji explained, that this Raudra is here, okay, and it is a form of Shiva who is an angry form. And the penance is he's playing veena. What does this mean? He's making his nerves and veins go in the deep meditation with so much power and so much intense meditation with anger. He's worshipping, he's going in the deep worship, that meditative state. And that is when you play that, there is a very powerful sound that emanates, and that sound pleases Lord Shiva. That is the playing of the Raudra Veena, which gives us one weird kind of a sound. It's very powerful, it's very intense. See, that is why it is also said that through music, you can also reach divine. Because it's that nodes, the nodes of the music is also to reach the divine. So you can even use different paths to attain the divine. And in this case, it is about attaining that God, and it is towards going realization. But what happens is, when Lord Shiva was pleased with Ravana, and he came in front of him and said that I am very pleased with your devotion, and I will, bestow my grace and give you my Atmalinga. He said, you can't take Mount Kailash with you, but instead, I will be very pleased to give you Atmalinga, which you can worship. But he said one very interesting thing. When you worship this Atmalinga, you exactly attain the power of myself, which is like you become me. And what does that mean? Ravana himself is a demon. And now, can you believe that when he gets some power like that, what happens? His pride, ego, arrogance, everything comes into existence. And not just that. And with that power, the power gets misused. He will use it against the gods. He will use it all against the deities. So, which means he's exploiting. The power is misused. And you remember, see, only the godly being, when they attain that state, they will ask for realization from the divine. But what did Ravana ask? He did not ask for realization. On the contrary, he's asking, give me that power so that I can become powerful than you. That is exactly what their intent is. So my Krishna Guruji will always teach this very important thing. And that is, see, when you get the grace, never ask for that power, something which is going to benefit you. No, whatever you seek should be only to attaining the spiritual way. And when you seek something which is going to benefiting this entire universe, then you're asking for a good cause. You're not asking for your own selfish motivation, or just for your greed, to fulfill your lust and greed or desires. You're not asking for that. But that power, the wealth, whatever comes to you, when it's going to go towards the well-being of this entire creation, then only it makes sense. And that is why in Sai Baba's poti, Baba says this very nicely. He says wealth is to establish dharma. And that is why we have the leaders, the gurus, the sages, the saints, who have been given those position, those power. Those power cannot be exploited. See, all these great sages, saints, they have the siddhis with them. They have gained that power to their severe penance, through the tapascharya that they have gone through. And through the grace of the divine, they have attained those powers. But the power is not for their satisfying their own selfish desires. But the power is so that they can do good in this world. It's for the well-being of this entire universe. And that is why if you go to any real great guru, the real master, he is desireless being. Though he has the ashta siddhis around him saying tatastu, he is never using that power for himself or for benefiting his own family members or anybody in this world. Everybody is part of Vasudev Kutubam. The great gurus like my Krishna Guruji will always do good to everybody. Even if he is an enemy, my Guruji will never think he's an enemy. He'll still do good to everybody. That is how these great beings are. They don't deprive anyone of anything. What is due to them, what is good for them, that is exactly what my Guruji will bestow upon them. Even when it's coming to knowledge, he selflessly will teach. But it is in each of his own disciples for them to absorb and evolve on that path. How much effort are you going to put? How much are you showing your that passion to learn and evolve? Passion is the wrong word, but that not the material, for material worldly benefits. No, the fervor to evolve on the path of spirituality, that is what is very important. How much you crave for God, that is what he cares about, and he is here to give. And then please also know that the guru, the great masters, will only give you that which is palatable to you. He's not going to teach you subjects that which you cannot understand, or it is not for you in your life to journey on, or that's not your path. He's not going to teach. See, many a time, lot of his disciples will come and ask him, Guruji, I want to learn Tantra, I want to learn Yantra, I want to learn Mantra, whatever that is, It's very funny. They'll come and say, Guruji, please teach me this, I want. But Guruji will only give that which is suitable to you. He understands what is good for you, that is what will come. And that knowledge will open as you evolve. As much as efforts that you put in going ahead in your life. The tests are going to come, you're going to go through all the challenges, but he's seeing how well do you fare in all of that, and how much bhakti do you have, how sincere are you, how much pain are you willing to take, how much suffering are you going to go through to attain that spiritual will. That is what the great gurus do, and they test how much faith, how much Guru Bhakti do you have? Please remember one most important thing. We are doing the most beautiful scripture, which is called Guru Charitra. What does it talk all about? It is teaching you, it is teaching us all about Guru Bhakti, Guru Seva. Service unto the lotus feet of the Guru is the ultimate way to achieve God realization. There is no other way. Please remember this. And obeying the words of the Guru's command and exactly doing what he ordains you to do. Don't go against your Guru. Never think that your Guru is some ordinary human being. Don't go by his looks and appearances. Don't go by what he's trying to tell you. And please remember one very powerful lesson, and this is the lesson which I will always carry in my heart. It's embedded, and I'm very grateful to Lord Dattatreya for giving me this profound lesson. He said, no matter what your Guru puts you through, please remember one thing. Everything is happening for the good alone. There is nothing bad that is bad. There's no bad at all, actually. On the contrary, when any event befalls you, we think it's a calamity, some bad thing is happening. But please know that in that there is something very good that is going to happen because of that bad, the way we think. There is no bad. Everything is happening only for the good of us. for good of everybody, for good of you, and for well-being and your progress alone. So there is always good in everything that is happening. So never forget that lesson. Keep it very, very intently within you. Remember at all times, even when you're going through the most toughest moment, please remember that everything is happening for my good alone. My Gurudev is with me all the time. There's nothing that can befall me. There is no calamity that can come to me. I just chant his name, magic will happen. That is the faith and conviction that you need to have. And when you have such a faith and conviction, please remember your Guru's grace is always around you. It's like a firewall. It protects you. There's nobody who can touch you as well. This is but that is the faith that you have to develop. And having this absolute faith and surrender is not so easy. Love will come eventually, and devotion will go deeper and grow deeper only with the grace of the divine. Lord Shri Krishna himself will grant you that devotion. But you have to first evolve that path. So please evolve. So this is the story behind what the spiritual, the adhyatmic meaning behind what is this Raudra Veena. What did Ravana play? What is the Raudra Veena? Where he removed the veins, he made those, it's a musical instrument. You can Google and check out how the Raudra Veena looks like. It's a beautiful musical instrument. So this is exactly what it means. There is always a spiritual truth behind it. You should never take it as is. And that is why these scriptures can only be explained by the great gurus. Nobody else can, decode rather. They are all codices. They are hidden truth. And that secret can only be revealed to the true devotees, to the true spiritual seekers, and to the ardent devotees of the Lord. Not for everybody. This knowledge is not meant for everybody. So whatever you have to listen or whatever you have to read, that is all will come to you. Please remember one very beautiful thing. When you doubt the Guru, or when you doubt the divine Lord Almighty, even if this knowledge is told or imparted to you many a time, it will not even enter you. It will not even hit you. Why? Because that doubt is what the covering is. That is your ignorance, and that is called Maya. So no matter how much you study or even you read for that matter, that is never going to unravel. The only way for this knowledge to reveal itself is through the grace of the Guru. When he imparts this knowledge unto you, that is when that understanding will come slowly, slowly. And it's not over, one-time journey. Once you finish this reading the scripture, then you close this book and keep it in your library. No, it doesn't work like that. You have to go deeper into it. You have to continue to read again, over and over and over again. And every single time when you read, there will be new lessons that will come to you. That is how the spiritual progress happens. So it's very beautiful. The journey itself is very loving. It's insane to even describe. It's very beautiful. I just cannot describe adequately with words. You have to experience it. And everybody's journey is to their own way. I cannot live somebody else's journey, not someone else can live my journey. We all have to walk our path. But at the end of the day, please remember, the goal is to attain that ocean. Like all the rivers is going to come and meet that, they merge into that ocean. Similarly, everybody's goal is to attain that God alone, that one entity who is the father of this entire universe, the Guru Mother, the Guru Ma, the Krishna Ma, Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum, the ultimate goal for all of us to attain. But everybody's path is different. Everybody's way of looking at the divine Lord is very different. And like I explained yesterday, please don't get carried away by the preconceived notions which you have so far understood about how God is experienced. That is all false. Please know one very important lesson. Whether you read the scripture, Guru Charitra or Sai Baba's Poti or any of the great saints, if you read their life stories, you will understand how simple and how ordinary they appeared. They never donned some fancy, garbs. They never had an attire. They never had some, identity. They were not in the limelight. No, they became famous much later. Their devotees spoke about them. They went and told the world about the greatness of these great divine beings. So that is how they established that faith. The faith in the God is what was established. It is not about themselves. They are not even craving for any attention. They don't even want to be known in this world. That is the truth about these great masters. So please remember, they never, promote themselves. They're not here to get some glory, and they're not here to get some awards, rewards. No. What can you give, or what can anybody give to the master of this universe? Nobody can reward or award them. Nobody can even say they are the greatest thing. They are the great. They are the supreme. They are the supreme divine consciousness. They are the Parabrahman. Guru Sakshat Parabrahma. Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. So that is the Parabrahman. Can anybody even say how great they are? You can't even talk about their greatness. Such is their greatness. So be very humble, and please don't look for such experiences. When you meet the real divine God or even the gurus, they will come as a very ordinary human beings. They will appear very simple. That is a mark to recognize them. The grace is what you have to seek from them. Don't try to say, I want to, I want to experience the four form of Mahavishnu. That is the grace you need to get. But even the Mahavishnu will manifest in an ordinary human being and come and stand in front of you. Do you have the eyes to recognize him? So for which you need to have the grace from the divine, so that when he appears in whatever form, you should have that eyes to see. That is called the grace. That is why it's called Dravya Dishti, the divine vision, the divine eyes. You can't see with this naked eyes. It's not with the sense organs that you can experience the divine. It is very subtle. It is absolutely subtle. And that is what you just have to understand. It is understood within your heart. Yes, I met him. That is the understanding. But you cannot describe that experience. It's impossible to put in words what that experience means. You just know for sure. Yes, I met my Lord Shri Krishna, or I met my whoever, right? I met Lord Dattatreya, I met my Krishna Guruji. That is that experience. I met my Lord Dattatreya. Everybody, whoever you want to meet, that experience is what is most important. So don't go after all these spectacular things that they show in this world. That is all false. There are a lot of fake gurus in this world who try to portray something to you, and you think that is what is the divinity. You think that is what is the truth. Please stay away from these things, and you are never going to experience any truth over there. On the contrary, you're going to go in the gutters. Furthermore, deeper into that ignorance. Why do you want? So the reason why these lessons have been imparted, these great gurus have gotten their life stories, the leelas have been written down, so that though devotees and disciples can understand this truth. And this is gospel truth. This is not somebody writing it. These words are the wisdom of the divine themselves. They have got this written through an instrument. In this case, it is Saraswati Namdarak. Gangadhar Saraswati, who also goes by another name here as Namdarak. He is the one who writes this Guru Charitra. And who is giving him the stories? Siddha Muni. Siddha Yogi or Siddha Muni is the disciple of Sri Narsimha Saraswati. And today I'm not going to talk about the story of how and which place where this Guru Charitra has been written. I'm going to share it with you very soon. But until then, please wait. I don't want to reveal everything so soon. Like, even in the in all of the soaps and some of the movies, they'll say, oh, it ends here. They leave it with some that cute secrecy. Oh, what's going to come next? So we'll see it in the coming episodes. It's so that you have that little craving. Okay, oh, what's this? So I will narrate it to you. It's very beautiful. So I hope you understood the significance, the spiritual significance of why did Ravana play the Raudra Veena. And most important, another very important point that I would like to make is that, see, Ravana also represents that anger, the greed, because his desire is not fulfilled. When the Atmalinga got established, in Gokarna, remember, Ravana got very angry. So what does it tell you about? Unfulfilled desire ensues anger. And anger is the doorway to hell. So anyway, Ravana is going to be destroyed. That's a different story altogether. But the root cause is all unfulfilled desires. Lord Shri Krishna has also very nicely explained in Bhagavad Gita. In that he says, unfulfilled desire ensues anger, and everything. The root cause of anger is unfulfilled desires. So, what do you have to do? Surrender. Surrender is the only thing, and don't have any desires. God will give it to you. Whatever is due to you will come to you. Don't go after things like money, power, ego, arrogance, greed, lust. All this is not going to give you anything, and you will get into furthermore, into the bondage of this material worldly existence, and you'll incur more karmas. Why do you need that? You don't need that. That is the truth. So let us begin with this new chapter, Gokarna Sthala Mahatmaya. This chapter describes the Gokarna Kshetra Mahatmaya. Gokarna had so much sanctity that Sripada Sri Vallabha chose to visit and spend some years here. A visit to this holy place burns off all sins, however much grievous they be, and earns for the person Kailasha-pada. Gautama Rishi narrates to King Mitrasahu, who was under a curse, how a Chandala woman with sins galore on her head earns Kailasha-pada by the mere coincidence of her dying at the holy Gokarna. Namdarak was thrilled with joy listening to the origin of Gokarna Mahabaleshwar. He said to Siddha Yogi, from what you have said, I believe that the place must be spiritually very powerful, and it should have been conferring immense benefits materially, morally, and spiritually on all the pilgrims visiting there. I am eager to hear of any instance in which anyone had derived such benefits from making a pilgrimage to the place. In reply to this, Siddha Yogi narrated the following anecdote. In the Ishvaku race, there was once a king by name Mitrasahu. He was a very pious, noble, and kind-hearted king. He treated his subjects as his own children and was ever engaged in promoting their welfare. Vashishta Maharishi was his family guru and priest. The king, however, had one vice, with his craze and over fondness for hunting. The king once went out for hunting and killed many wild animals. Thereafter, he confronted a wicked Rakshasa and wounded him mortally. The Rakshasa, before falling down dead, told his brother that he should take revenge of his death. The brother Rakshasa took the guise of a human form, went to the king's palace, and managed to become the palace cook. One day, there was a Shraddha ceremony in the royal family. Meat is forbidden on such a day, as the Brahmin priests and rishis would come to partake the food. The vicious Rakshasa surreptitiously cooked human flesh on that day, and taking everyone unawares, served it to the Brahmin priests instead of the vegetarian food which was supposed to be served. The priests got enraged and were furious, and on the spur of the moment, without waiting to know the truth, cursed the king that he would become a Brahma Rakshasa. The king was about to curse the priest in revenge, taking water in his palm for the purpose, when the queen restrained him, saying it was not proper for anyone to curse the priest. The king then let the water from his palm drop on his own feet. The feet got charred, and because of this he came to be known as Kailasha-pada. Vashishta Maharishi, realizing that the king was really innocent, felt sorry for the curse uttered and told the king that he was blessing him, that the curse would last only for 12 years, at the end of which he would get back his normal form. The king, because of the curse, became a Brahma Rakshasa and made the forest his habitation. He used to kill and eat whichever or whoever came by that way, whether they be animals, beasts, or human beings. One day, a Brahmin couple happened to be passing through the forest. The Brahma Rakshasa caught hold of the Brahmin and, ignoring the requests and plaintive pleadings of the wife, who was imploring him to consider her as his own daughter and spare her husband's life, mercilessly killed the Brahmin and devoured him. At this, the wife of the Brahmin, who was then suddenly widowed because of the bloodthirstiness of the Rakshasa, cursed him, saying, although after the expiry of 12 years, you're going to get back your human form. If you try to court the pleasure of your wife, you will instantly drop down dead. And your queen would become a widow like me. Thereafter, the woman, along with the bones of her dead husband, did Sahagamana and entered her life, which is she taking a sati. Now, what does this mean? Can you see the implications of the cascading effect of your actions performed? You commit one action, whether it is done knowingly or unknowingly, the repercussions are tremendous. And that is why my Krishna Guruji will always teach all of his students and disciples and devotees that do not open your mouth, do not commit any action, whether it is with words, thoughts, or deeds. Don't do it, because we don't understand the repercussions. He became a Brahma Rakshasa because of a curse, though it was not his fault, but they are all meant to be. Why? Because he killed a Rakshasa, correct? But he should have sought pardon or done something about it. Instead, what happened? So then that action led to another action, then to another action, and now, even though his curse is going to be finishing by 12 years, but he already has one more curse coming in. And that is the karma, cascading effect. We don't understand how, how deep this is. We cannot, no guru on planet Earth will ever explain the depth of what karma is all about. He will only give you just a gist of what karma and why you should not perform karma, whether it is good or bad. Please remember, see, here we are talking about bad karma, but even those good actions that you perform, that is also going to have cascading effect. An example, I mean, my Krishna Guruji will always give this example. Take the example of Bill Gates. Today, Bill Gates, he's doing so many good, he's doing a lot of good things in this world. He's one of the philanthropists, he's got a foundation, he does so many different things. Now, he's Bill Gates in this life. But can you imagine that he's helped so many people in this world? He's done all the good things. But those people have to repay him, which means each one has sanctioned, so he has sanctioned each one to become a Bill Gates in some life. So the equation is very simple. It's the equation. What is the equation of karma? It's like I have to return what I get from you, whether it is good or bad. That is the equation of a karma. Now, whether you do good deeds or bad deeds. So in this case, Bill Gates has done all the good deeds, which means all those people, the millions of people who have received something from him, will have to repay him. So can you imagine how many more lifetimes of birth and death he has to go through? So why do we need to? That is why Lord Shri Krishna says we have to do nishkam karma, which means selfless service, selfless action. We are not getting attached to whether it is good or bad, and not even being bothered about what is the fruits of those actions. The end result is we're not even going to bother about it or care about it. So whatever comes, we offer it to the divine Lord Almighty, because we want to do a nishkam karma. If this body has to perform certain karma, it has to be selflessly. It's good or bad, but most important, what the great gurus teach is we have to only do good in this world. And the good also, the karma doesn't accrue. So we are not going to reap the benefits in many other life, because we are doing it selflessly. It's a selfless service. That is why the great gurus, the real masters, will teach you how to expiate your prarabdha karma, and for the future to create only the good things, which is not going to accrue. It's not getting into a bank account. There's no interest coming to you so that you're doing good. It is only going to help you get a good birth in a good womb, or you attain the divine and you merge over there. One of the things can happen. So this is extremely important. So you're not going to sanction yourself with all the people that you are going to be associated with in this particular life. But after you meet your guru, then the guru will show you the path. That is why it is extremely important to follow the ordain of what your guru teaches. When he says don't do something, don't go there, there is a reason why he's saying, because he knows everybody's past, present and the future. But we don't understand. We think the guru is against us. He's the greatest villain in our life. No, please never ever think like that. I'm telling you, my Krishna Guruji, I have no words to describe his greatness. He's only done good. See, he's always, saying things. Please don't do this. There is a reason why he says, in my case, yes, anger. Anger, something that he'll say, you have to control, you have to overcome. See, anger is given so that you have to serve some purpose in this world, but don't get angry with people or what is happening in this world. When the time is right, that anger has to be channeled and used for achieving the purpose of the Lord. You have to do the Lord's purpose, you have to do his work. That is when you need to use at the right time, but don't use it, to get angry with petty things. So those are the things he will teach, how to use your tendencies or the nature to serve the purpose of the divine. There's a reason why this body has been chosen. So it has to go through its process, its learning and everything. So when you listen to the Guru, when you surrender to him and you learn under him, then he will show you and guide you the path. Today, my Krishna Guruji was giving a very, very profound lesson. Why it is important to, learn from these great masters, the way, how to speak, even like, politically correct. The great gurus, they are the master of this universe. They're political, they know the politics, they know everything that is happening. They're highly political, they know how to use a particular language to speak to people. They are not going to go in any wrong books of anybody. They're not going to make any enemies. They're always very kind, they'll speak in a very loving manner. They're always good to everybody. Even they know the person opposite to them is some idiot, but they're never going to call that you are an idiot. On the contrary, they'll praise him to heavens. So they are very perfect in the way they communicate. They're politically correct. So he was teaching how. So this is from the Samarth Ramdas's Das Bodh. In that he was explaining what Samarth Ramdas Maharaj has taught, which is you have to be, you have to learn from your Guru how to speak, how to communicate, how to be politically correct, how to say the right words. You have to use the perfect words. You have to get the knowledge, how to do everything. He's the master of all subjects. He's the master of knowledge. He's a knowledge incarnate. So what makes you think you know too much more, too much, or you know more than your Guruji? And that is the arrogance we come with. We should not. And we are not going to achieve anything. That is exactly what Guru Charitra is teaching. All these stories are only teaching you a very profound spiritual truth, which is important for us to imbibe, learn, and apply in our own day-to-day life. Please remember, whatever you learn in your spiritual, those tests or those lessons or those experiences will come in your real time, in your life real time. So at that moment, how well are you able to apply that knowledge solely depends on the ability of how much you have learned and absorbed the knowledge imparted by your Guruji. So this is extremely important. And also, how much effort are you putting in it? It's not a joke. Again, like my Krishna Guruji was explaining last week, people think spirituality is some joke. People just think spirituality is some fad today. I want to be spiritual. And everybody calls themselves they're spiritual. No, 99%, 99.99% of this population in this world are religious people. They just know God, or majority of them also will be, they don't want to believe in God. They can be atheist. It doesn't matter. But spiritual is only 1% max. Nobody is spiritual today. So it's a rare thing. Everybody thinks they are spiritual. They want spirituality, but they don't understand what does spirituality mean. They think spirituality is something very easy. Oh, they just can attain like that. And they think that Guru is sitting there to give them everything on a platter. No, sir. You have to work hard, work really hard. And in Guru Charitra, we are going to learn all of that. And that will tell you the truth about what it is to be with a Guru. How do you develop Guru Bhakti? What it is to be on the path of spirituality. And most important, why is Guru Charitra being taught? Because Guru is the doorway to God. Without Guru, there is no spirituality. Please remember this. So now let us continue with the story. The king, after the expiry of the cursed period of 12 years, was rid of the form of Brahma Rakshasa. Having become normal, again he returned to his kingdom. He confided to the queen the curse of the Brahmin woman. Hearing so, the queen was heartbroken, as the prospect of her getting a son was now doomed. Seeing the grief of the queen, the king consulted the wise men of the court and the priests to find out whether they could suggest him any way to escape from the curse. They advised him that if the royal couple could make pilgrimages to holy places and do their offerings to the gods, the power of the curse would at least get mitigated, and with divine grace, it could perhaps even be overcome altogether. The king and the queen set out on a pilgrimage to most of the holy places of the land, doing severe penances at those holy places. They came to Mithilapur at last. They were exhausted and sat down under the shade of a tree to rest. At this juncture, the king saw the illustrious sage Gautama passing by, along with a group of other rishis. The king ran towards him and fell prostrate at the sage's feet and prayed that he should save him from the curse of the Brahmin woman and show him the way to expiate the sin of Brahma Hatya. Sage Gautama told the king that he should visit the holy Gokarna. His pilgrimage to the holy place would expiate his sin for certain. The sage said that all the gods, even all the celestial beings, make pilgrimage to Gokarna for expiating their sins and to earn merit. He said that even Brahma and Vishnu visited the holy place and did penances for a long time in order to earn merit. The sage cited instances of the incomparable redeeming power of the holy place. The greatest sins like killing or causing the death of a Brahmin, a cow, etc., could be expiated by pilgrimage to and worship at Gokarna. He narrated the following incident, which he himself had witnessed just a few days ago. So there is a story within a story. So that's very beautiful. So let us understand. And one other most important thing that you need to know, imagine, so the curse happens, like, you get angry, you curse somebody, you say some things. And the repercussions, you saw how the king had to go through. Because of his one action, it has led him to get to so many different actions. And it's not just the king is impacted, but his wife, the people associated with him are also impacted. And this is what we miss. My Krishna Guruji will always give a very interesting example. So there are few of his students who are all part of corporate world, right? So some days we'll come and tell him what happened today in the office. We'll say, today my boss was not in a good mood. So my Krishna Guruji will say, think that he had a very bad day with his wife. Must be his wife would have given him a peace of mind. And so he's come, he's irritated all of you. So he's just taking it out on his team members, which is actually true. And then he'll say, otherwise it'll be the other way around, right? Maybe if you have a lady boss, she would have had a tough time with her husband or mother-in-law or children or whatever, and then she's in a bad mood. Now, can you imagine that you start with something and then it's not just connected to that person, but you're actually you're creating that karma by taking it on somebody else. So it's a cascading effect, and its repercussions are terrible. It's not only with one person, it's people associated with you. So when you scold somebody or when you say something to someone in a very bad mood, and that person is going to take that on somebody else, and that is why we should not do something like that. And so my Krishna Guruji once explained, we had a very funny situation. Once we ordered some food from a restaurant. And then what happened, they just only, instead of 3 meals, they only sent us 2 meals. And we were very hungry. So already the food came, later than expected. The time they delayed, giving the delivery. And then on top of it, you see that there's a meal missing. Obviously you're hungry. When you become more, when your hunger grows, anger also grows. And it was unbearable, and then you try calling them and asking. So there is a disconnect at their end. So the customer service was giving some answer, the manager is giving some answer. I really got mad and yelled at the manager. At that time, my Krishna Guruji said something very important. You know what, it's okay, no matter what what has happened, you should not do this. Because see, there are a lot of people, yes, people have made a mistake, they've genuinely made a mistake, and though they were very rude and they were not even trying to get it fixed. On the contrary, they're saying, it is the customer service problem, we have not got the information, whatever excuses, they were reasons they were giving. Too many excuses, too many reasons. So the point he was teaching, the point he made was that, see, today I might say something to him, but that because of someone making a mistake, that person is going to take that words very seriously or to his heart, and he's going to give it to someone else. So why are you going to become a part of that karmic loop? And I never understood. I didn't know something like this was there. And that is why I say the concept of karma, or the subject of karma itself, is very, very deep. We don't understand. It's like a, again, it's a limitless ocean to understand what karma is. We cannot understand it. So then my Krishna Guru said, no matter what happens, don't get angry. And a similar incident happened, last week when we had visited the beautiful fourth, the Datta Avatars, Manik Prabhu's place. The Pitadipati, Nyan Raj Maharaj, said to one of his persons over there to say, please take Guruji, and make sure that he said, make arrangements for for their lunch. They have to have lunch and go, and then only leave. So he said, please make the arrangements, take them to and show them where they can have the lunch. So we went over there. See, this is the problem. The Gurujis teach everything very, all the good stuff, but it is for people to live or not live. So this person, instead of taking care in ensuring that the food is served and waiting to ensure that we are having our meal and somebody is taking care of us, he just left us over there and said, please wait here. There were these children from the Ved Pathshala. There's a school, the Vedas, the school of Vedant. And he said the kids will come now. So then together you can eat. So we were waiting over there. So Krishna Guruji and myself were sitting over there and we were waiting. And then all these kids came. It was very cute to see them. So they're all making arrangements. So they laid down the plates and everything for everybody except for us. And also, there was a person over there. So this was not the same person who the Pitadipati had instructed. This is some other person over there who didn't know anything about us. So then he was wondering, what are we doing? He said, in Kannada, in a local language, he said, you know what, when these kids come, you both go sit there. My anger, I told my Guruji, you know what? My temper is getting higher, it's rising up. He said, calm down, don't react. No, because I said they are incurring a sin. If they don't serve you, the wrath is going to, in a sense, it's not a wrath. See, you don't disrespect the gurus, the great gurus, because they are Atiti Daivo Bhava. That is our tradition. That is very important for us to live. And here, when you disrespect a great master, then you're disrespecting the entire gods and goddesses. And the universe is going to, not like it. Then she takes charge and she does what she has to. So why invite trouble? And for me, it's like, you can't disrespect my Guruji in front of me. So then he said, okay, go tell him. Then I went to him and in Kannada I spoke to him, look, my Guruji is waiting. He thought we some ordinary human being. Another problem with everybody. Again, I can't blame them also at times, because my Guruji is that Maya, what he shows or demonstrates, his ordinary appearance. He is wearing a t-shirt and a jeans pant. Who will think he's like the God Almighty? How can God wear t-shirt and a jeans pant? That is not acceptable. People don't understand this. So then I told him, please, he's a great Guru. Don't even think he's some ordinary human being. You need to serve him. Guruji has instructed over there. Dhyanraj Maharaj has instructed. Can you please come and serve him first? So then he instructs some lady. So then they bought the leaf, the patravali. Then they offered to us. But had I not gone and said this, though it did not leave me in that good taste by what had happened. Of course, so anger definitely came up, but if I would have gone and given him a peace of mind, again, that would have gone into something else. So my Krishna Guru, just calm down. You don't have to get into it. It is their karma. They are going to face it. So that is why my Krishna Guruji will never say anything to anybody. Let them behave let them treat however they want. But what they don't understand is they are going to suffer for the treatment, the way they will treat. My Guruji is not going to do anything. Please remember, my Guruji is he's the most compassionate being you can ever find on this planet Earth. He's forgiving. He can forgive everybody on this planet Earth, but his universe will not forgive. Please remember this. So, and for me, someone disrespecting my Guruji in front of me is not acceptable. So that's another thing. So he said, can you just calm down? So I sat down and then finally we finished and I went away. but the feeling is not right. The what I learned, there are multiple things that you get to learn. The most important thing we learned is that, how do you serve when a guest comes to your home or your ashram, wherever, right? It is important to give them that respect, no matter whether they are big, small, it doesn't matter. And this is what we live in Krishna ashram. My Guruji teaches us, Atiti Daivo Bhava. He himself will come and ensure that everything is taken care. He will make sure that everybody is looked after in the same manner. That is the most important lesson. So and what happens, see, if you don't live the lesson of what your Guruji has taught, then you're earning him a bad name. See, we are his representations. You need to understand, it's not about the Guruji. You know what people will tell, oh, this is the kind of guru he is, oh, this is what he's teaching his disciples, look at the way they behave. Then whose name is being tarnished? The Guru. Is the Guru teaching ever something bad to the disciples or the devotees? Not at all. On the contrary, everything that the Guru is teaching is a profound truth. He's always told you to be a good self. When did he ever say, you be a bad self, go do everything, whatever you feel like you go do? No. On the contrary, the Guru ensures he fixes you first. He will reprimand you because he cares about you. See, it is a privilege to be reprimanded, and I will vouch for this. Someday, when you will read the autobiography of my Guruji, and also I'm writing my own stories, my journey with my master, you will come to where you will read about how he will reprimand. Reprimand is not because he's bad or something like, no, he cares about you. When the Guru, reprimands you, he beats you to pulp, beats you not physically, he beats your tendencies, your negative, your demonic propensities, your demonic disposition, your, tendencies, all that he beats into pulp. You have to actually be grateful to him for doing it. It is not that he does it with all, but those who he wants them to evolve on this spiritual path, he definitely will do it. Every word from your Guruji, when he gives you 2 tight slaps, that is a blessing. When he scolds you, when he reprimands you, you have to be very lucky to be reprimanded by your Guruji. This is something we don't understand. On the contrary, what happens to us human beings, the egoistic people? Oh, my Guruji is saying, telling me all this, he's reprimanding me, I don't like it. Ego comes in. 2 egos, inflated, deflated, or martyrism. 3 things we'll always get into. But you know what? You should accept that beautifully. Oh my God, I'm so grateful today. My Guruji has, beaten me out. Why? Because he cares about me. That is when you will evolve spiritually too. His every word from his mouth is a blessing. This is not understood. So please remember, if your Guruji praises you, you're gone. Your fall is imminent. You're sure to fall. Never take a praise from your master. Always welcome. He should always, give you 2 tight slaps and teach you all the time, saying, no, you do this. Don't ever take praises from your Guru. Praises is not good at all. No sweet talks. If he's praising you, then you are sure to fall down. So you're never going to progress. Why? Because it elates you. It elates your ego. You think no end of yourself. So where is the progress going to happen? It's never going to happen. So this is what was very beautiful lesson I learned. And what is the other important lesson which I already told you? The great gurus will appear in disguise. In my Guruji's case, jeans pant and t-shirt and his ordinary human appearance is the disguise. That is the Maya for the world. Only those with divine, his vision and his own, my Guruji's grace alone can, get to see who he is. Who he is also know. That little bit grace is there to understand that he's somebody great. He's that God Almighty. He's someone who is beyond imagination or beyond any words can describe. You will not even know who is this. But you cannot know him. Nobody can know Lord Shri Krishna. Please remember, the word Krishna itself is secretive and unknown. What makes you think you can know Krishna? Nobody can in this world. So you have to attain that level of bhakti for him to give you that grace. Like how Ravana did with Lord Shivji. But please remember, it is very easy to please Lord Shivji, not Shri Krishna. For Shri Krishna, you have to wear yourself out. And when you wear yourself out, then he does. Because he is who he is. So you better wear yourself out if you want to meet Lord Shri Krishna. That's the level. What is Lord Shri Krishna asking? Can you ever imagine? He's asking you to be your good self. which is to live the way of his life, being absolutely good. He's always ready to serve his devotees. We think so arrogantly, oh, why should I serve that person? Oh, he's not, he's not worthy. We make judgments over people. We can't see God in everybody, but Lord Sri Krishna can see God in everybody. He's always, at the beck and call of his devotees. He's always ready to serve them. He's always ready to grant favors for them. He's always wearing himself out for his devotees. Such is the greatness of Lord Sri Krishna. So to attain him, it is not so easy. We have to live. And what is today missing? Two important words: goodness and love is missing in this world. And that's what my Guruji doesn't like, because he is Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum. He feels sad that today there is not a single person who can live that words of Lord Sri Krishna, being the epitome of goodness. Try being good in this world. No, even this event that happened, of course I'm getting angry, but can I see God in that? That's also his Leela, because there is a lesson. Something has to happen. We don't know the divine play. Divine ways are never understood, why they do what they do. But even that anger, everything is a part of this Leela. So you just have to play, act and go. But the most important lesson for you to live is don't get angry, means don't get angry. You have to be your good self. So sometimes they also use that anger at that moment in time that, see, everybody's an instrument in the hands of the divine Lord. So sometimes that anger will be used for serving certain purpose. And we don't even know why that is. But consciously, you on your own cannot go and get angry and do something wrong and then come and say, God, you have used me as your tool. How convenient. You can't put the blame on the divine. So I'm clarifying this with you, because it's a fine line between how do you want to take it. So don't misconstrue what I'm telling here. So, and then because the people, no, it's not people, everybody's mind is, the mind itself is a deceitful one. It can interpret however it wants to. It'll only take things that is very convenient and palatable to it. So don't fall for it. So coming back, it's very important how we live and breathe and walk the path which our Guru teaches us and shows the way. It's important to listen to him and emulate him. And my Krishna Guruji said a very beautiful thing again, most important. See, the great gurus can behave however they want. See, they have nothing to do with this world. So we only have to emulate all the good things that they are teaching us. They will sometimes perform certain things in a weird way. That doesn't mean you can do it. They might say some words, they can use certain abusive words or language, but they are allowed to, because they are the God themselves. They are realized beings. They are not in this material world. But we living in the material world, we have to follow the protocols. Following the protocols and rules and regulations is extremely important. So only emulate the good stuff about your Guruji, and then don't tell, oh, my Guruji only said, oh, we have been taught, we have to emulate our Guruji, so we are also allowed to say whatever we feel like. And this is another very interesting thing that I have observed. In the initial times, I met certain disciples of my Guruji who will question him when he does something. I'm like, we are not authorized to do that. The Guruji is bereft of all rules and regulations, all protocols. The only time he does certain things so that he sets an example so that we can follow. There are no rules applicable to any masters in this world. So don't pinpoint at the Guru. And when you do, please remember, you're going to get back the same thing dime a dozen. You are not allowed to pinpoint to the master, oh, you're doing, why can't I do? The master is entitled. The Gurujis can do it. You can't do it. So there are a lot of people who question my Guruji, oh, you're doing this, can I not also do? Are you comparing yourself to him? He's God Almighty. He's Parabrahma. You are living your material human, crass human being. First become divine. Go achieve that state. Then once you cross over, then do what you want. But without that, our mind talks too much. Ego, arrogance, no end, things, no end of itself. So please don't ever do that. Only the great gurus, the saints, sages, who are the Lord Almighty themselves, are allowed to do anything, but not you. You don't have the authority. And this is one thing which my Krishna Guruji also will tell me. Look, you have to follow protocol because you're still living in the material world. The day you cross over, the day you give up this material world and walk completely on that other side, then you do however, then you behave however you want. Nobody's going to question you. They can't even question you. Today, that is the most important thing to understand. But when you live in the material world, we have to follow the material worldly norms. The protocols are important, the rules and regulations are important. So don't go against that norms. And if you do, then you're going to face the repercussions. So, okay, I'm not going to start this story, which Gautama Rishi is going to narrate. I will start tomorrow because we are almost at the end of the hour. We'll continue this chapter tomorrow. So until then, I will stop at this. I will bookmark it here. Yep. So I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. So please go and, do a little bit manan, contemplate on what I have taught. It is extremely important that you adhere, to your guru's words, to whatever he ordains you to do, and it's extremely important to follow the protocol, and especially whatever he teaches you, observe him, learn from him. It's the only lifetime opportunity that you have. Don't ever lose it. So with this, thank you for joining Sri Guru Charitra Parayan. Wishing you all a very happy evening. See you all tomorrow morning from 8:30 to 9:30. Om Shri Mahaganapate Namaha. Om Shri Gurudev Datta. Om Shri Sachidananda Sadguru Sainath Maharaj Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Digambara Digambara Sripada Vallabha Digambara. Om Shri Krishna Guru Nathanatha Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Devi Durgaya Namaha. Om Shri Krishna Arpanam Namastu. Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum.